What's up, everyone? Welcome to our NBA Offseason Update video, where we're going to break down some of the moves that have been made, not too many yet, some of the rumors we're hearing, what our takes are on potential trade destinations, free agent signings. So let's get into it. And I guess we'll start with the first big deal that's actually gone down.
So big trade between Memphis and New Orleans.
Yep.
Memphis gets Steven Adams, Eric Bledsoe at the 10th.
The 10th overall
40th,
pick. Yep.
And a 2022 protected first next year.
From the Lakers.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we'll see what that ends up being. It shouldn't be too high of a pick.
Yeah. New Orleans gets Valanciunas, pick 17, pick 51 in return.
Yeah.
I like JV in New Orleans. I like the fact that Memphis moves in to the top 10 in the draft.
Yeah. Those are the two standouts here.
Yeah.
Steven Adams is good on Memphis. They still need to develop an offensive game overall.
Yeah.
Outside of Ja, they need some
Yeah.
secondary scoring. For the Pelicans, getting Valanciunas, it takes away their strength, which they don't need with Zion.
Yeah.
It helps them improve on offense, which should make them the contender they were supposed to be this season.
And Bledsoe's supposed to be flipped. He won't play in Memphis.
Yeah. So other trades to look forward to. Dame may be on his way out.
And he has requested a trade.
Him along with I can see Nurkic and CJ as well.
Yep.
Being traded out, just a complete rebuild in Portland. If Dame's not there, what's the point of keeping these guys around?
Bradley Beal has also said that he's interested in leaving, or he's open to leaving Washington now, which is very different from last year when he said he was committed to playing in Washington.
Yeah.
So it'd be interesting there, but Washington's also linked to a couple guys, which we'll talk about when we go over the free agents here. Obviously, we've talked about it before. Zion Williamson's future with the Pelicans is a bit up in the air right now.
Yeah, and with Beal seemingly on his way out, he can also include Russ. In that he'll be a guy if teams are willing to take on that contract, bring him in to help out, because I don't see the point in Washington keeping him around.
Yep.
Zach Levine in Chicago. It's an interesting one. We're not sure what Chicago is as a team.
Yeah, I don't think he gets dealt this offseason, but if Chicago's underperforming again, I don't think they're going to miss another opportunity to trade him at the deadline to get something out of him. As of right now, it doesn't look like Levine is overly impressed with Chicago right now, but that could change if they become more of a contending team. It'll be interesting to see what they do in free agency because they still have Vooch as well.
Yep. Now let's move on to OKC. They have Kemba.
Yep.
Who they got from Boston, and I can see him being flipped yet again.
Yep.
Because I don't see the point in OKC keeping him unless he becomes a reclamation project.
Yeah, like Chris Paul was. So
yeah.
But obviously Kemba needs a little bit more work than Chris Paul. Chris Paul is a little more refined.
Yeah. Now you have Kelly here.
Kelly Oubre is, I think there's a lot of talks that he's out the door, considering he is a bigger cap hit for Golden State and for the performance he put up last year.
Work there.
No, he doesn't. I think he needs to go to a place where he gets more of a starting role, which he wants, and I guess less emphasis on him performing offensively.
Yeah.
I think if Kelly Oubre were on a cheaper contract and were to come in this year when Klay Thompson is back, it wouldn't be as bad for him, because there was a lot of emphasis on him needing to make up the amount of 3 points that they were going to lose with Klay Thompson going down.
Yep.
I think Oubre's still a very valuable guy that they can fetch a decent return for, but I think he's on his way out of Golden State.
Now, Kyle Kuzma, I'm not sure what's going to come of that. He's obviously a little overpaid. Doesn't seem to work with the Lakers.
There was a huge trade that was offered to Kyle Kuzma, and it was Buddy Hield, and only Buddy Hield would be headed back to the Lakers in exchange for Kuzma, KCP, Montrezl Harrell, and a first-round pick. And that's the type of price that they have to trade, because I think every team has been contacted about Kuzma and KCP.
Yeah.
Like whether it's both of them, whether it's just one of them, and no one's really been interested.
Yeah.
So it comes to it that they're going to have to throw in a piece like Harrell, who underperformed a bit last year.
And at that point, you'd rather just turn him into a project or...
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. He's somebody that they may just need to develop to get the most value out of him, but he also needs a change of scenery. So how that works out, I'm not sure. So another underperforming player, Kristaps Porzingis. Now, I'm not sure if he'd be better off with a change of scenery or if they can make it work in Dallas.
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you think?
I don't think they can make it work. He seems to want out. He's not interested in playing second fiddle to Luka Doncic.
Yeah.
He was expecting a bigger role when he got traded from New York.
Kind of like LeBron and AD, but
yeah,
he's looking like a third option. They're just missing the player ahead of him.
Yeah, if he was a third option, he'd be a great guy to keep around in Dallas, but he's not interested in being that. Mm-hmm. I think teams that need a big presence, contending teams that need a big presence up front, I think that's where he would go.
Another underperforming player, terrible playoffs.
Yeah.
Ben Simmons. I don't know what to make of it.
You can only laugh.
They want a James Harden return.
And the offer that we know about, because the Raptors are still in negotiations with him, was the 4th overall pick this year. Mm-hmm. Already it's a no.
Well, this is what Philadelphia
was
offered. Asking.
This is what Philadelphia asked of Toronto.
Yes.
4th overall pick. If I'm Masai, I already say no.
Yep.
OG Anunoby, definitely don't want to part with him. Kyle Lowry, I'd be open to putting Kyle Lowry in a deal for Ben Simmons, but not with OG Anunoby. And then Fred VanVleet.
So I wouldn't do Fred VanVleet alone. I wouldn't do OG alone. I wouldn't do the first alone. I would do Lowry and maybe a piece.
I'd probably do Lowry and then maybe a future pick. I think I'd be okay with that. It obviously would have to be a sign and trade for Lowry. But I don't know. Simmons is a guy that I think would fit well as a secondary option. So I think the Warriors are the first team that come to mind. Mm-hmm. He can
tertiary scorer.
Tertiary scorer, secondary playmaker, primary defensive option.
Yeah.
So to take a role like Draymond Green, we talked about it earlier today, that Draymond Green that's the type of role that if Golden State had 2 of them, that's an unstoppable force.
Yeah.
Definitely
and
someone.
As he ages in Draymond, do you want that replacement? You want a guy that can eat those minutes. Because injury-prone teams could use that depth.
Because there's also potential that Draymond could be included in a deal back for Simmons.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
That's always something to take note of. But I think, you're definitely not getting a hard in return for Simmons.
Yep. Anyways, let's move on to the free agent class or potential free agent class. We're not sure what Kawhi is up to, what he's thinking. Is he going to stay with the Clippers or is he going to eat up that one more year? Either way, he's not playing this year. So.
Yeah, he's not going to play next year, torn ACL. So I think, I don't know. I think it's, I could see him very well coming back to the Clippers. But it depends if he wants to win now. Obviously, he's not going to win or at least play and win next year.
Yep.
I don't know. It's really, Kawhi's not a very vocal guy about this. So we're really not going to know until he opts in or opts out. So. Chris Paul is probably the next most interesting guy on this list.
Yeah, I don't know what to make of Phoenix going into next year. They definitely need to improve because a lot of what got them to the spot they were in was based on injuries, not to say or not to take anything away from the season they had.
Yeah.
But for every team, it's going to be a whole lot tougher. You have to anticipate it being tougher next year.
Yeah. And a lot of the things that got them there as well was the increased play of DeAndre Ayton, the great shooting of Booker, and just the great overall playmaking of Chris Paul. And all of those didn't show up in full force for the finals. So I could very well see Chris Paul leaving. I think the Lakers would be an intriguing option to go team up with LeBron.
The Lakers are in on all these guys.
I think now that he's gotten a taste of what a ring could be, I think he's really going to want that moving forward, especially to try to solidify his legacy.
Yeah, all the support LeBron was showing. I think there may have been some collusion or something, but
you never know. See. Guys talk.
DeMar DeRozan's another interesting piece.
Yeah.
I'm not sure where he's going to end up. Again, another guy. All these guys are tied to the Lakers. I don't know. Maybe a Toronto return if Lowry stays.
Yep.
It's potential for that to happen, but
There's,
what do you think of DeRozan?
So there's talks that DeRozan could be going to the Lakers with Kyle Lowry as well. Another guy they're best friends. DeMar is from LA, so that's obviously
straight out of Compton.
But DeMar's also said he's interested in going to he's interested in Washington, which is
interesting.
Yeah, I just heard about the other day, which means that, he probably would want to play with Brad Beal.
And probably Westbrook too, you would think.
Yeah, I think Russ is a little more expendable than Brad Beal in that sense.
Yeah.
Just because you've committed so much to Brad Beal.
Yep.
But DeRozan, yeah, I heard that rumored around there. Not sure how much to weigh into that, but there's going to be a lot of teams interested in DeRozan.
Yep. Norm Powell, another small forward. He at this point would be the consolation.
Yeah.
It depends. I don't know if Portland's going to be able to retain him with the uncertainty in that franchise. So I can see him going elsewhere. It's just a matter of who, and I don't know who that is yet. Kyle Lowry, we already talked about, may stay in Toronto, may go to LA, may go to Philly.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Miami's in on him too. They were in on him at the deadline, so that'll be interesting to see where he goes.
Yeah, I don't think Utah's ready to lose Conley yet.
And I don't think Conley's ready to leave Utah yet.
So
it's unfinished business there.
Yeah, definitely Oladipo needing to prove himself.
I have no idea where this guy's going to go. He was on 3 teams last year, so really there's no telling where he's going to go. Obviously, his value's gone down because he has been injury prone the past couple of years. But when he's on, he's on. So there's definitely going to be interest, but it'll be interesting to see the value on that contract.
Dinwiddie's interesting for me. Another guy LA may look at if they can't get anybody else.
Next to DeRozan, he's probably the most interesting guy in this free agent class. Yeah. Just because he's also just an interesting guy too, a very interesting personality.
Coming off injuries. A
lot of uncertainty there, but a whole lot of potential there.
Yep, for sure.
There'll be plenty of teams lining up for his services.
And some depth, small forward, power forwards you have in Montrezl Harrell and PJ Tucker. Well, Harrell's the center, but
Tucker's also played the center too, but definitely front court depth pieces. Tucker obviously coming off of that championship win this year.
Upped his value quite a bit.
Harrell coming off that 6th man of the year last
2 years
season.
ago.
I guess 2 years ago. Sorry, I'm still thinking in terms of this season. Should mean this upcoming season now, not this past season. So so it's a couple interesting depth pieces there. Tucker definitely raised his value, having a great finals, locking down guys like Kevin Durant in the playoffs too.
Yep.
Definitely a good lockdown defender. Harrell's coming off an off year, but when you have a 6th man of the year,
when you have that kind of rep, he's going to get paid.
Yeah.
I don't see him returning to LA.
No.
Tucker, I like in Milwaukee. He may stay.
I think he will too. I think they like him in Milwaukee. He likes it in Milwaukee. They have a winning culture now in Milwaukee, so definitely interested to see that and just how this whole offseason unfolds.
Yep.
And that'll do it for this video. If you like this video, give it a like down below. Subscribe so you don't miss any of our other uploads. Comment what you think of our takes and who you think is getting traded where, who you think is signing where. And with that, we'll see you in the next video. Peace.